The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast for bigger sports, talking a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to righteousfelon.com and use promo code BELLYUP and save yourself 15% at Righteous Felon today and get the best in crab jerky, which Dave is snacking on tonight as we speak. Dave, how's the Righteous Felon Jerky?
It's fucking delicious. The texture of it is exactly how I like it. The little bit of moisture with the marbling that was once there. The one pack I've tried so far is really tasty. And the meat, what are these called? Fucking hot rods.
Hot rods. They were hot rods back in the day. Hot rods were the slimiest, greasiest things. And I used to eat the guts out of hot rods when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. That's fucking gross little pepperoni sticks. This is not a gross little pepperoni stick. This is fucking delicious. Once again, it's the proper amount of dehydration with still a little bit of moisture. So you're not, it's just good. I imagine they do quite well. I hope so. And I'm looking forward to sampling some more as we go forward.
It's not available in Canada yet. They're working on that apparently. But if you have a U.S. address or U.S. listeners, everything else, make sure you get righteousfelon.com and get some jerky. Because Dave, actually, next time you're going down, give me a heads up. I'm going to order some so you can bring it back to us. And Jasper, make sure he doesn't eat it before you bring it back to us. Is the biggest.
Well, yeah, that's kind of funny because he was Katie had picked him up from ball practice tonight, and we just started when I heard them come in, and I was just showing the jerky thing, and that fucker like a moth to a light.
Save me some.
No, and he's like, I want a piece, and so he got a piece, obviously. But
anyways, Dave, the NHL All-Star game happened this weekend. We'll get to that in half a second. But Gary Bettman had his State of the Union address on Friday, I think it was, when it was all going down, and announced that the National Hockey League was going to be going back to the Olympics in 2026 and 2030. First off, it's hard to believe that we're talking about 2030 because you remember back 2002 was the Salt Lake one. Be 28 years since that one happened, and then like just think about that. Like it's crazy.
Well, it's 22 years from right now. Like it was in February of 2002. You're getting old.
I'm getting old. Yeah. So the NHL decided to go back. I think it's great.
Thank Christ. It's about time.
I think it's about time. It had the best on best competition. Don't sugarcoat it and find a way to make it work. If they weren't going to, I think this time around was shit or get off the pot and don't ever even dangle the carrot out ever again. Because there's a lot of kids. Well, you look at a guy like McDavid hasn't played in one of these things yet, right? And that would be a shame. But I think it was for the NHL to get this done with the double IHF and the Olympics and everything else. I think if they didn't get it done now, the next time around would have been too late.
Because we're talking a generation of players. And it really is unfair to these fans because that's you and I talk about it all the time about how our hockey memories are kind of crafted around best on best competition, whether it be the Canada Cup, which was a legitimate best on best. It wasn't the Olympics, but it was legitimate best on best.
Legit best on best.
Yeah.
Like with actual, because the thing I liked about those ones, Dave,
because the Russians didn't play in the NHL. Or
there was a few Swedes. There's the odd Finnish guy, on and on. So you knew some guys, but they weren't buddy with each other. They weren't teammates. These guys back then, they did not like each other, and they were winning for their country. 100% they were. Because a lot of those guys didn't get a chance to compete for the Stanley Cup, and because the Stanley Cup's still the biggest one to me. It's what these guys grow up thinking about, no matter where they're from. But those things back in the 80s, man, and even the 90 and 96 World Cup, that was especially the final. But the best on best was huge. I'm glad the NHL found a way to get back. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's okay. I'm glad they found a way. Whatever had the money, and it's always money. They found a way to get it back, and they're going to get back there again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward, and that's all I can say. I think weren't they planning on going to China, but then COVID put the brakes on that. I'm trying to think how that went. It's not really important, but you just think that Connor McDavid in his professional life has never played best on best hockey. Sid Crosby's played in whatever 3-4 Olympics, and
Well,
and
I
and
think
and
10 was
he's
his first one, right? So he might have only had 2.
okay, and I'll believe that.
10 and 14.
Yeah,
And then
10 and 14.
18 they didn't go.
No, 10. Yeah, so they won in 02.
But Crosby wasn't part of that one.
No, then 06, the Italy Olympics, Canada shit the bed.
That was 6.
And then they came back and won in
Vancouver in 10.
and then in Russia
in 14.
No, not Turin. It was a Russian city. Turin was the one before that.
Well, what was the Russian city?
It was a goofy little city that we'll never hear of.
Little Russian town out in
that
the middle of nowhere.
Oligarchs just threw billions of dollars into.
Like Turin, Alberta, actually. It's one of those little towns out of nowhere. Yeah, one of those things. So Crosby's only played in 2.
Yeah, I wonder if he. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, you're probably right. But it's great to have these players back in the international competition, because even before they were allowed to be in the Olympics, we talk about the Canada Cup, and then we also talk about the World Championship of Hockey, World Cup of Hockey, whatever the fuck those ones were.
The World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, and that was great too, and it's. I just want one, and I think it's best that it's the Olympics, because that draws the world eyes more than just the hockey fan eyes. And you say that the Stanley Cup is still the thing. I think Olympic gold medal is a lot harder, because we were talking about it the other day, I believe, with Aaron, that you can lose a game in the early stages, but once you hit the playoffs, it's one game and you're out. And it's a lot harder to win an Olympic gold, because A, you have to make the team. B, it only happens every 4 years. C, once you're done round robin play, you have one bad game and you're gone. So it's the gods have to be smiling on you, and you have to be really fucking good every fucking game. There's no Pat Maroons walking around with gold medals.
I remember in 2002. Canada, they lost to the Swedes in the first game on a Thursday night. Turn went on, they got better. Joseph got to taken out as a starter by Pat Quinn, and then they ended up and then Martin Brodeur took over, and the rest is history. But I remember on the Saturday before, this was a Sunday afternoon game. I think it was a 3 o'clock Pacific start on that day. And I was so fucking nerved up on the Saturday when I woke up, and I was living in Vernon, BC. And I went for a drive. And I was just like, and I don't know why, because it was like hockey was the way the tournament was built up was in North America, the NHLers and on it went. And I drove down to Penticton. Like, I drove for quite a while. Like, I was just fucking nerved about the whole thing, right? Went to a little place in Slack Alice's for there was a ballet there, to say that what it was, but yeah. And I'm not a ballet guy, but Slacks is it's a Penticton landmark, and yeah, I and then the next day you woke up, and I had an air of confidence that Canada was going to win that game, and it didn't. There was never a point in that game where I didn't think they were going to lose that game. And I remember that vividly, and that's 22 years ago now. Like I remember it vividly, and I hope that like your boy's not the biggest hockey guy, but like it's one of those things. I hope that there's kids now that are going to get that chance again, because Canada, like NHL, the best on best wasn't in the Olympics for how many years, and so now that it's back again, I hope that that momentum comes back again. I really do.
Yeah, so do I, and it would make it makes fans of a new generation, right, sitting and watching that game. It's funny, they after I forget the last one that was, and would have been, I think the chart I saw was from the Salt Lake or Vancouver Olympics.
Yeah.
They had the water flow usage in all the cities, and because during the period breaks, water flow would just be like increase, like
everyone's going for a piss,
because everybody's going to go to the can in the whole fucking country. It's hilarious.
The entire country, yeah.
The entire country was going for a piss at the exact same time, and it was during this first period. After the second period, everybody runs for a piss, gets back there, which is kind of indicative of how important that was, because I don't know what the numbers were for that TV telecast, but there was the TV was on in only one house, but there was 15 people at that house.
Yeah.
The bars were packed. Like, this was like for that Russian one. I don't think you were there, were you, Brent? The one that we went to Hudson's at 6 a.m. They changed the laws for one day in Canada.
No, I was living in the Hat, but working in Saskatchewan at that point. So I know I didn't make it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
there was a couple places that I used to frequent in the Hat that they changed the rules in like provinces. Like,
yeah,
the bars are open, man. You can start fucking pounding beers at a bar at 6 a.m. if you wanted to.
And that was the thing.
And
like,
places were busier than fuck.
You walked in, you could walk in at 5, but they couldn't serve alcohol till 6, and game time was at 7:30 in the morning. Something like
whatever
that.
It was, yeah.
And then so we they go, no, they're gonna keep an eye on us. And so we all had our drink orders, and literally the waitress was standing there with our Caesars.
Yeah.
And at 6 o'clock, she plopped them on the table, and the place was jammed. We had to reserve a seat to be fucking drinking Caesars at 6:30 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and it was a glorious thing.
And Canada didn't win and everything else. Like in the Hat, they actually, because they had the same deal, they would serve you breakfast at 5:30 because everyone wanted to get a table. They would serve you breakfast at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning before. And
it's really good.
And Mahoney was playing fucking Mahoney. They were playing at 6 in the morning at the garage.
Those two guys probably didn't go to bed.
Well, they probably played the Buckle the night before, and they just kept going through. Yeah, no, yeah, it was crazy. Like, just, and I hope that the excitement didn't get lost, because when you forget about things, right? Like, and you won't do it, and then the guys who are our vintage, who are maybe more invested in that kind of stuff, and because we pined for it for so long, and we remember the Canada Cup, so we were like, I can say that, not me and you specifically, but our vintage of people. We were really big into making it a thing across the country, like the guys our age, because like 98 was the first one they lost, 2002 they won, 2010 they won, and so like people our age and other kids and the World Juniors and the things and stuff, like the Hockey Canada was such a huge thing. I know it's a dirty word right now, but I hope it comes back. I really do, because it was so great. Just
yeah,
great.
And this gives it a chance to be great again, because now that you mention it, right, with that was the last time it was best on best, and the early morning Russia game was 2014.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, Jasper was 4 years old. He has
you don't know.
I didn't bring him to that place at 6 in the morning. I promise you that. And so,
did you leave him home alone? Who was the sitter?
Well, come on, the wife didn't come with him.
No, he'll be fine.
Do you want to? Yeah. Should we? Yeah. Do you want to come with? They're like, you got to be crazy. Like, she's as patriotic as the next girl, but there was no way she was dragging her ass out of bed to.
Yeah, it's funny. No, I hope it goes well, and we won't talk about that Four Nations Cup, because I think that's stupid, but whatever. Anyways, the other thing that happened this weekend, Dave, on Friday night, the skills competition happened. The All-Star game, I tried to watch it while I was doing my notes on Saturday afternoon for that banquet on Saturday night, but the skills competition happened on Friday night, and it wasn't it wasn't bad. Like, it was entertaining enough. There were some things like, okay, this is dull. Like, whatever. We were out and about watching that, and then people were cheering and laughing and having a good time. But the one that obviously there's got to be one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch, and that was Nikita Kucherov, who decided to completely mail it in, and he didn't give a fuck, as you would say. Not one. Like, it, and in fact, he probably owes money to somebody for this, because it was an awful awful display. It was I thought it was one of the worst displays from a pro athlete ever. And it was an entitled display of fucking pure ignorance to what was going on there. I felt bad for and embarrassed for the league. I felt that he maybe should have said, you know what, I'm not involved in this. I don't want to do this, because there was guys that were there that wouldn't have minded maybe having a chance of winning $1 million, because that was up for grabs when it was like every New McDavid was going to win it. But there was other all-stars in the building that could have participated, and that fucker just said, you know what, I was forced to do this, and you can't tell me what to do. And I thought it was awful.
I agree with it, but I also kind of tip my hat to it. I don't want to do this. You got to. I don't want to do it. It was the skills competition equivalent of Marshawn Lynch back in the day. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
I'm just.
No, I agree.
That's exactly what it was, and I'm positive he would have told some. I don't want to do it. Get out there, man. It's good for your image.
Niet Soviet. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, okay. Or he was like that guy in Slapshot that had the owner had him doing the fashion show. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up that robe and I'm going to
wiggle my dick at him.
And every woman there is going to scream, exception of my wife. That's what Kucherov opened up his robe and wailed his dick at the Toronto fans. And they booed him. And you know what? He totally bought in. And like gave it the boomy. I'm like, I don't care. He played the heel role perfectly, and I'm not that mad.
I agree with you, Dave. I agree.
Really not that mad at him.
I'm not either, because you know what? It's stupid.
I ain't your fucking circus pony.
But right? You kind of are, because I bet you there's somewhere in the contract that says you sign up for this. You sign up for this.
Asked and answered, right? Like that's like I'm doing this so I don't get fined. Like he might as well have been trolling like that on his put it out on the back of his jersey. Here so I don't get fined.
Because like there was because they only had the 8 guys or 10 guys, whatever it was. No, there's 11. Sorry, 11 guys that were on the ice,
and then all of them had to do everything. They didn't have the specialized shit anymore, right?
And so he was one of the 11 guys out of the 30 All-Stars, whatever it was. They could have found a way. But the problem is that Kucherov is one of the highest scoring players in the league. I think he's tied for the league right now with McKinnon in league scoring. So he kind of, like, for the league, the league thinking he has to be there because he's one of our best players, right? But at the end of the day, that once again it put a damper on. It put like the stain on the All-Star game, which has been a thing for 30, 40 years now. Not 30 years, 20 years. We're like, dude, I don't want to do this. I get paid $11 million a year. I'd rather be anywhere but here.
In Tampa, at my place.
I just say in Tampa. I don't got to travel anywhere.
No, I don't even have to go on vacation. I'm on vacation. Yeah.
Okay, if you want me to play in the game, that's fine. That's fine.
I get it.
Because you can hide me. Like you can hide me on the 3-on-3. I'll skate around. It's shinny.
Apparently, right? It was full games now, but like carry on.
No, it's 3-on-3.
I don't think so, man.
I watched it. Yeah, it's 3-on-3. They play two 20-minute halves or whatever it is, or 10-minute halves, and then there were shootouts and stuff. So there's different teams. Doesn't matter. Okay. But it. Yeah, I don't know. Like and you got these kids who are players who are entitled now, and they're their corporation. We talk about it all the time. It's just like, I don't want to.
Well, Kucherov's not a kid. He's a vet. He's
he under
has 2 rings. Yeah,
he's under 30.
Yeah, well, 30. I'd put him right at 30, but it does. That's not the important part. At the end of the day, he's a grown ass man. If you can't tell him what to do, like you're not telling me what to do. If you fucking insist, I'll go. You know, that's like saying to your
You wonder if he told anybody.
I want to come to. You have to come to dinner. We're gonna do this work thing. No, I don't want to. No, I really want you. Fine, I'll go. And then when you get that from me, when Kitty gets that from me, or you give that to the GG, I'm sure. Like, well, then you stay home then. If that's the way you're going to be, you stay home.
Oh, I don't do that.
Stop it.
No, when it's time to go, I know I have to go.
You've never given it a fine. I'll go, and
No.
she says, "Well, then stay home."
Not once.
A trip to the hat on
no, I go. All the things that I do. Oh yeah, okay, I'm going. Never.
And you're never there just so you don't get fined.
Never, no. She knows that I know that she knows that I know that. Yeah, like she knows that I don't want to be there, but I just yeah, okay, yeah, we'll make it, yeah, 100%. Yeah, but she doesn't want to be there, but I'll make the best of it.
As a professional, I get it.
Do you think that at any point before he laced him up on Friday? Because let's completely hypothetical. They had that draft on Thursday night, and then maybe the boys went out and got twisted up and had a good time or whatever. Do you think just maybe he didn't get in till fucking noon the next day? And then he went into the Scotiabank Arena, told whoever's in charge, and said, "Listen, I don't want to do this, and you probably shouldn't put me on the ice because I ain't doing it. Niet Soviet. Like, this is going to be bad." Do you think at any point maybe that happened where he went, you know what? I don't got her in me. I'm and then to try to get over my hangover, I'm fucking 12 Caesars deep at fucking whatever. And I'm not doing it.
It's possible, but then at that point, it's too late. We already got your name in the program. They got all the graphics made. It's too late. Why the fuck didn't you tell this to us on Tuesday? You can't change your mind now. Okay, fuck, I'll do it. And then he did, and just couldn't care less. It was the biggest phoning it in I've ever seen.
I've never seen a pro athlete do that before in my life. The way he just like, I don't care.
It could have been.
I couldn't even think of a moment that I've seen before. Like I could not. I was like, what the hell?
Like, I can't even make it an equivalency. Like, if you're in the home run hitting contest and just waving at the pitches, like going over. Right, not swinging hard, laying down a bunt to first. Like, it was that bad.
That's exactly what it was, Dave. It's exactly what it was. Is if you're in a home run contest and you square up to bunt and bunt it down third and bunt it down first and then miss the odd one here and there. That's exactly what that was.
Oh, you bet. Exactly. Yep.
That's a very good analogy because he couldn't. He had to get backwards and he just. Yep. That's exactly what that was.
And so, as unprofessional as that was, and how, was it unfair to the fans? Retrospectively, I don't really think so, because it gave them a villain to boo at. He plays for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who've been the nemesis of Toronto for quite some time, except for last year. But then Toronto couldn't get past the second round anyway, so gives him a villain to cheer, have something to talk about, and maybe this is good for his brand. Maybe he says now, like, I told him I didn't want to do it. Wow, you go out there and I told him I didn't want to do it. Okay, I'm not a fucking circus monkey. Let him find someone that cares.
Yeah, it was a bad look for him. The only kid that person I might feel bad for, and not so much a TV viewer, but let's just say that there's a kid from Toronto who was at the game, because that event's for kids. Well, the whole All-Star weekend's for kids to an extent, because if it was for kids, they wouldn't charge $300 a seat. Anyways,
kids in hospitality. It's sponsors and family and friends of sponsors and season ticket holders. But
they wouldn't charge $300 a seat if it was for kids. They would charge nothing if it was for kids. They'd say, "Come on in." They would give tickets out at schools if it was for kids.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of hearing that argument too. Like I'm going to go on a little rant here.
The TV product
I am
is for the
tired
kids,
of hearing that fucking argument that it's for kids. Because if it was for kids, they would go down to fucking Degrassi Junior High, Degrassi Elementary, and give out fucking tickets to kids. It's not for kids. It's to make fucking money. Enough of the All-Star games for kids. That's stupid. It's a stupid comment. It's a stupid comment people make all the time. Anyways, where was I?
You were ready to go on a rant. Because it's for kids, and don't tell me that it's for kids, and then you got sidetracked.
I just went.
And that was it. That was
so
your rant?
The only kid or the only person I might be a bit disappointed for is it's a bad luck. Don't get me wrong, but let's just say that there's a kid from Toronto who Nikita Kucherov is his favorite player, and he watches him on Friday night. He's like, "Oh, Nikita's gonna do it," and then he just doesn't. He just doesn't.
And that's
shitty.
That's a bit of a valid point. What you're saying though about it's not for kids to be in attendance. But I will say it's for kids, and I was listening to the 32 Thoughts podcast today, and Merrick was talking, and I don't know if it was his kid he was talking about or something else, but it was like a 14-year-old AAA team, and they had practice, and like a couple kids were like, "Fuck, man, I want to go." And my dad has tickets to go to the All-Star game skills competition. I really want to go there.
Yeah.
Well, you've got your dedication to your team. You got this. If I as a parent, fuck you, coach. Like, we're all bigwigs here because we're playing AAA midget hockey in Toronto. So we all got something. My kid's going to this fucking game because you know what?
100%.
He wants to. And you know what? If this costs him his draft year and his Bantam draft, then big fucking deal. I don't think this one practice is that important. And I think a lot of kids, which got me to thinking, like these kids, I would imagine 10 to 16 years old, they really did want to watch that All-Star, like the skills competition, more so than the game. And it does mean a lot to them. And I hope those kids got to see it. And it also gives them a reason to mock Kucherov. It's nice to have a villain. Otherwise, professional wrestling wouldn't even exist if we didn't get a cheer against.
No, Dave, this is a nice turn that you took because I talk about this all the time over at the stadium there. And I said, kids don't watch baseball. Kids don't watch hockey. They don't know. It's different. They just don't. So when a kid wants to actually watch the game, let them do it. Like, let them do it. The viewing, and you know better than anybody because you got Jasper there, 14 years old. Like, it's if he wants to watch something, let him watch it, especially on a Friday night. Like, why are we having a practice at 9:00 on Friday? Like,
when the All-Star skills competition,
the All-Star game's on, the game's on, this is on, and then let's just say let's say conversation if you and Jasper had tickets to that game, and there was a practice, and Jasper wanted to. There's a periphery, or there's a thing going on. Oh, well, better go. If you just call the coach and say, Jasper's sick.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna be none the wiser,
right? And
let kids watch the game. Let kids enjoy the game, because if that one practice or that one game is a make or break for your kid going to the Hall of Fame, he ain't going to the Hall of Fame.
And it nurtures the love of the game, right?
We just finished talking about hockey, the Hockey Canada Olympics, and on and on and on. Let kids watch the games.
Yes, and enjoy being fans of the games.
Yes,
because that would be an excellent team building thing. A couple parents get together. Hey, why don't 10 of us? Like, I got a theater room here. Like, let's make an evening of it, right?
We'll sit upstairs and smoke cigarettes and drink beers. The kids will go downstairs and watch the games.
Yeah, and we'll have it on upstairs. We'll have it on downstairs. We'll order a couple wheels, fucking pizza for the kids.
We don't need to be doing dryland training on a Tuesday. We don't need to watch sports. Look at what these guys are doing. Become, and that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed the last while since my new gig over there. There's no fans of, I shouldn't say no, not no, but there's less and less fans of the game. They like playing, but they don't know the game.
And I'm the kind of the opposite. I'm the outlier of that thing. I never played the game. I got a son thing, but I've always liked watching baseball. I especially love watching live baseball. I just like being here.
Yeah.
I just like smelling the grass and watching and getting
always back to grass with you, isn't it? Jesus.
Well, when you got good grass, you'd be a fool not to utilize it.
In Canada, the good grass in Canada.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's good to be.
No, that's a good point, man.
And especially going to minor league, whatever, not the pro league, because the pros you can watch like fuck any league at a certain elite level you can watch online at any time. But it's nice to be able to go watch live outdoor sports, well, indoor sports too, as long as my attention and dollars are being respected as a fan.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of pisses me off. If you're gonna make me work for it, then fuck you. I'm gonna Kucherov it and sit on the couch at home and find something else.
No, it's a very good point, Dave, what that you said there. Like if a kid, if you have tickets to go to an event, you're gonna go, right? Because the chat and the closing remarks tonight about at the PBA banquet there, I said, enjoy these moments, and there was parents sitting there, and I said, enjoy these moments. And I said, you heard these two coaches talking, these Hall of Fame guys. I said, there's a good chance that none of you guys are going to play professional baseball. I said, there's a good chance. I said, some of you might. So when the one guy said, yeah, we went out for some beers and probably shouldn't have, and do those things. And enjoy the game and watch and enjoy it, because before you know it, it's over. And we talked about it a few times with, like, you're not at that point yet with Jasper, but you're a knowledgeable enough guy, whereas that the end is coming, right? Like it's only 4 or 5 years away, might be 6, might be 7, who knows? But enjoy these times you have with sport, because before you know it, you're not playing anymore, and then you're just a fan. But if you don't become a fan, you're not going to be a fan. Right. Just so enjoy the stuff you have to, because man, oh man, it's crazy how, like you're saying with Merrick on 32 Thoughts there, Merrick and Friedman, that's a great show. They're smart guys. And like, why wouldn't you go to that fucking, these tickets cost me $500 or $400, whatever it is. We're going.
Well, even if they're free. We're going.
Like,
it's none of your fucking business. It has nothing to do with anything except for the joy of hockey and being a fan of hockey and watching something that
he'll get more out of that than doing fucking whatever stupid drill on a Friday night.
Whatever wicked drill. I just thought of a wicked play that's
you'll be a way bigger fan. You'll be a way better hockey player. You're going to try harder on a Saturday morning because when you saw something that the pros were doing in that kind of event, and yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, next day at practice in the locker room, is everybody going to be listening to the coach? No, they're going to be listening to the fucking kid. Like, what you saw, was that awesome? Did that look as cool as it did on TV?
Better.
Yeah, fucking wicked. Oh yeah,
wearing whatever fucking hoodie he got at the game or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and as fast as McDavid is, like, fuck, you should see how fast he is live, man. Like, just shit like that. And McDavid, to his credit, he tried his hardest on everything. He won. Yep.
Everything. And it was unbelievable.
And so we say it's because of a brand or whatever. He sold 1,000 more jerseys, but you know what? No one came away from that place with a salty word about that kid, right?
Bingo. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.